Guys, it may be a new year, but we're still coming in with the same shtick. That's right. The Sly Guy podcast has a Patreon. And what are you going to see over on Patreon? You're going to see loads of special bonus content. You're getting weekly guest episodes. You're getting the extra Sly Guy podcast. You're getting vlogs. You're getting early access to tickets, big show announcements, all the work over at www.patreon.com/Sly Guy podcast. And if you're thinking to yourself, why should I sign up? Hey guys, it's £2. £2. And to be sound this year, I'm putting up a new special over there too. It's going to be there probably in the next few weeks for you to enjoy on patreon.com. Bits and pieces will be there for you to enjoy. There may be some announcements about new shows as well over on Patreon. It's a great place. So this year we're going bigger, badder, faster, harder, stronger, just like Kanye West. And look how that worked out for him. So get on over to patreon.com/Sly Guy podcast and enjoy my New Year gifts. From me to you, Bastard. The Sly Guy podcast is always brought to you in association with Modest Beer. We all know it by now. Modest Beer is delicious, nutritious, local beer. Formed right here in Hollywood, County Down. Modest has taken the fucking country and the world by storm. If you want to know more about Modest, head to their website, www.modestbeer.co.uk, where you can sign up to their brews letter for any up-to-date information on Modest Beer. You can also get their merch over there. You can find out what beers they're brewing, where you can buy them, the full works. But if you're a lazy guy and you can't be arsed typing into the wee bar, blah, 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 go to their social media with a simple handle at Modest Beer. Don't regret it.
I'm the Sly Guy.
Welcome to Cork in the North, ladies and gentlemen. This is a special episode. It's a crossover episode. I'm here in Dave Elliott's studio for the Sly Guy podcast. So we're doing a podcast together, one for his channel and one for my channel. This is it. It's the start of the year. Hope you all had a nice Christmas and a good New Year. Cork in the North is doing some cross-community podcasting. I hope you enjoyed the episode.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the year 2023. That was a wee bit facetious almost, wasn't it? Welcome to 2023. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to the Sly Guy podcast, the first podcast of the new year. And it's a wee bit different this week because it's a crossover episode. This isn't just the Sly Guy podcast. This is the Sly in the North podcast. Because what we're doing, we're crossing over with my friend and yours, Andrew Ryan's Cork in the North. And we're just doing a wee mix-up. You know, this is my introduction to the podcast. Andrew's going to do his now. And then what we're going to do is just have a chat for an hour and just slowly milk your wee ditties into the new year. I don't know why I said that. But listen, enjoy the episode. As always, it's been fun. Listen, thanks for all the support you've given me in the last year. I appreciate it. Let's make 2023 a big one. What would Tom Smith do? Own it. Let's go, guys. Whoa. So what are we going to call this? The Cork and the Sly Guy in the North?
Sly in the North.
Sly in the North. There we are. Sly in the North.
Sly in the North.
Which sounds like a documentary BBC and I would make with Sylvester Stallone. But
and also a documentary where, the person they're making a documentary, they're trying to find someone because they're on the run.
Yes.
Sly in the North.
I love that choice of the word, though. Sly, of all the things people would be on the run for. He was a wee bit sly.
What does sly up here mean? Because I know what it means down south.
Sly would be kind of like just, you know, you'd be a wee bit maybe bitchy about people. You would maybe
sneaky.
Bit sneaky.
Backstabby.
Bit sly, yeah. Like Sly as a fox.
Yeah. Sly is just a bit sneaky. Someone you couldn't trust.
Which is I realised that after I named the podcast because I'm a trustworthy guy, I like to think. But people are probably like,
well, a trustworthy guy. Today's the first day I've realised that you actually follow Arsenal. I never knew you followed Arsenal.
Yeah. And you did say, what did you say to me? You said, oh, gross or something, or stink. Like, what
I just thought I had higher standards.
And who do you support?
Oh, Man United.
Well, then there you go. So you're happy enough then, anyway.
Where Arsenal was 2 years ago.
Yeah. Listen, it's fun. You know,
let's not talk about football because people turn off.
Yeah, I know. Listen, this is what we're doing.
So tribal.
Because it's a new year, it's a new episode. We're just going to focus solely on football going forward. It's going to be a couple of guys just shooting the shit.
Fuck that.
About soccer. Yeah.
Go team. Go red team.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
To you, Dave. Good to see you, mate. Did you have a nice Christmas and New Year?
You know what? I think so. They were of those ones where you just think, we had our first hosting of Christmas.
Oh, you had people in?
We had people in, and we did it in a very, I say traditionally a traditional Bethlehem.
Did you do?
style.
Did you do like prawn cocktail for starters?
You know, what do we do? We did what did we do for starter? Shit, we did goat's cheese tarts, and we did soup, tomato and basil soup, and then we did dessert, which was Malteser and Bailey's cheesecake, which I made.
What the fuck?
And then for the mains, why we were smart was, and again, why it's a traditional Bethlehem style, we said that all the guests need to bring something with them for
Bring
the
a
dinner.
gift for the mains.
So
or
like my mum and dad brought the turkey and the ham.
Okay.
Catherine's folks brought like all the sides, and then I made the starters and desserts.
Anyone bring cutlery or anything?
Oh no, it was just we ate traditional Somalian style. We just got muck in with our hands. And
Someone brought someone brought the presents, the food. We just had to provide the seating.
But even that was hard. To just fit them all in, tons of them.
That's grand though. Once you had a nice day, that's what it's all about. It's all about kids now, don't it? Like.
But you know what? My kids are at the age now where they're hard work still. So like they open the presents and then they're like, right, what's next? And you're like, well, that's kind of, you now have to occupy yourself with these
for the next 6 months.
For the next until you move out, until you get married.
Until you move to the next phase of the toys that you're into, because they move so much, don't they? Kids such a young age.
Because like. The amount of plastic shit that arrived at our house this year, it's like you're looking at going, I don't know where to put this. They got dolls, these wee French dolls, and I don't know what the relevance of them being French is, but they come with a wee book that was in French, so I assume people might know
probably
what they
teaches the dolls on how to go on strike.
Yeah, one came with a wee white flag and everything. It was very odd, but they came and they're about this size, and they got a couple of prams with them, so that was their kind of main Santa gift. Both of them got a different doll and a pram.
Yeah.
But then the grannies got like a truck for them that goes with these dolls, and another one got a caravan that goes on the back of the truck, and another one got a horse. And these things are all about this size, and it's like, where am I? I'd
have got them a divorce lawyer just to get them ready for when they're older.
Yeah, I mean that's good. I mean, I don't know what's going to be like when they're older. I that's my biggest fear.
Would you ever worry? About like, you know, when you were 16, 17 and you were either going down the town and hanging out with the lads and standing on street corners and
selling my body.
Yeah, but like, you know, that kind of stuff. Like, do you ever wonder, like, when they're 16, they're like, I want to go out tonight. Because where are you going? I'm just going down the town. These things have absolutely no chance, but they kind of have to do it, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, I think as well,
part of the growing up process.
I think because they're girls too, I'm just more protective of them or something.
Because you know what lads are like.
And exactly, and I just hope the world is a better place, and I can't say it because it just keeps getting worse.
It's going to be a better place, mate. It's getting worse.
But it does, and like, you know what,
people are getting worse.
I hate to sound old, and I know some people are like, you're fucking ancient or whatever, but like, I remember watching the Terminator being like, that's wild.
Yeah.
Whereas now I watched the Terminator recently and was like,
that's new nerds on a Friday.
Yeah, that's the way it is now. You know, like Skynet. That the computers are metaverse. Whoa.
Yeah,
you know, it's
all
scary.
changing. Yeah.
So, like, do you remember the movie Tom Cruise was in, Minority Report, where he predicted the crimes?
I didn't.
And
no, I'm not seeing
it.
It
was like, long story short, was he had like this thing where they shot up it's like a computer screen but in the air, and he was doing all this shit and moving stuff about. That'll be the case. And I was watching that going, that's fucking mental. That'll never happen. And now I guarantee when they're kids, like, they'll be sending fucking nudes in their day will be like fucking just not horoscopes, like holograms.
Yeah.
Like, so they'll be in the room doing strip teases, and that'll be fucking wild.
Oh, it's gonna be.
And then there'll be a fucking chip in people's brain, and they'll be able to record it all.
Yeah. And do you ever, like, sometimes I'd be at home and I'm thinking, I might go skiing. I'd love to go skiing. You know, like I've no plans on ever going skiing, but you think, everyone goes skiing. What's skiing like? Next thing, 2 minutes later, my phone just pops up. Skiing in the Alps, £399.
Yeah.
2 days, and I'm like, what the fuck? Who's listening? Like, I know phones listen and Google and all that. They pick up on words. And people are like, the government's watches. Good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a shit whether the government's watching me. I don't care. But it's just like, how fast did that work?
Yeah.
That skiing came up on my phone within like a minute.
It is frightening.
It's quite scary.
It is frightening.
If I was like this, like, I want to buy a new house, 2 seconds later there's like, auction near your house. Like, it's fucking insane. But actually, in a way, then it's quite good, because if you actually want something and it pops up. So it's pros and cons with everything.
There was someone, I can't remember who it was. It was maybe just an online thing, but they were giving off online about constantly getting like barraged with like porn websites and like big boobies.
I wonder how that's happening.
And then the guy, they're like, it's like tailored to what you're like searching for, looking for, and he was like, well, Oops.
Well, I checked. I just wanted to check to see what was going on in that industry.
Yeah.
You know?
I was like,
Do you know what I looked at my Instagram one day? You know, when you go into like the search and it comes up
Yes.
what you've been looking at. Half of it's golf,
Yeah.
right? Which is golf, people hitting golf shots because I watch loads of golf shots on it. And the other half was women playing golf. I went off. I probably watched like 2 videos,
Yeah.
and now it's littered with golf and women playing golf.
Would that be? Is like if you know people are like, what's your would yours be a fantasy? Just a woman coming into the locker room.
Do you know what my ideal woman
we
is?
had off?
If my ideal woman would be somebody that goes, I play golf, and I'm like, you play golf?
Uh-huh.
I'm like, oh, okay. How often do you play it? 3 times a week. We're getting on so well already.
Yeah.
That to me is such a big. Now it's not that like I don't play golf 3 times a week, but my point is the fact that you're out of the house for 4 or 5 hours at a time. Like, oh, you golfing? Oh, that's a shame. I suppose I'll have to watch Super Sunday on Sky.
But see, my father-in-law's like that, and I look at him now and go, one day I want to have the life that you have, because he just plays golf every day, and it's like part of his routine too. He'll go out, he'll play golf, then he'll meet the lads he's played golf with for a wee breakfast, and then he starts his day early, and maybe he doesn't maybe see his wife for half the day.
Yeah, but your wife, your mum probably loves that. They've been together for years. If that makes him happy and he comes home in a good mood, after being out of the house for 5-6 hours, he comes home at lunchtime.
And he's getting the steps in too.
And he's getting the steps in, and he's happy. You have the morning to yourself. You can't always be together in a relationship.
No, do you ever see those people do that and you just go, there's something not right there?
It's called Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah, it's too weird.
And it's also codependency. I remember once I worked with somebody and he was in a codependent relationship.
And did he openly discuss this, or did you discover
He told me, and he said, I've got to go and do this tonight, and I can only be out of the house for 2 hours. I was like, why do you have to be? Why do you have to be back? And he went, no, it's just me and my partner. We can't be away from each other for too long. And I just went, ugh.
And how did you react to that? Did you sort of look at him and go,
I didn't know what to say to him. And I actually said to him, I said, are you codependent on each other? And he was like, yeah, I suppose we are, because that's all, this is, our life is just this. And I just went, oh, okay. And they were so like intertwined that they were never separated, and you were also a bit like, this is unhealthy.
Yeah,
this is unhealthy.
No, absolutely, because then one of them dies, boom, the next one's just, you can see that with older folk. Whenever like they've been married for like 60, 70 years, one of them dies, the other one's like, right, bye, a month later. Like, look, the Queen, when old Philip popped his clogs.
Well, 96 kind of gave that away.
Yeah.
I think the 96 years of age gave that one away. Yeah,
but I mean,
if she was 76, maybe.
But I mean, she's got all the finest, drugs and reanimation.
Oh yeah,
technology at her.
Like Prince Charles is what, King Charles now. He's what, 77, 76, 77. Yeah. So if he lives to say 87, 90, because they say men die younger than women, don't they? So then you're looking at Prince William is going to be the king when he's like 50. So he'll probably do about 40 years.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, we'll never be alive to see another queen. Technically, we'll never see another queen because
true. And George is taking over.
Because George is taking over, and so there's going to be no queen probably for the next 100, 150 years. Really, that was the last queen. It's kind of sad. Not sad. I don't give a shit about them. But my point is like, it's men all the way now.
Yeah, good. The patriarchy's finally back where it belongs. Yes, that bitch has been taking things.
She fucking.
Yeah, listen,
she did some overtime there. You know what I mean?
But I mean, Charles must be a bit raging too. He's like 77, starting work. Like he should be retired for
77. He's like, what? 77? I've got to go to Northern Ireland.
Yeah, like, I'm pretending I want to see fucking Jeffrey Donaldson.
Nah, mate, you're all right. I'd rather fucking sit in me castle.
I see whenever people were giving off about him being angry about. Did you see when he was like signing the forms and everything? And he was just
being an old man.
Just an old man.
Leave him be an old man.
Yeah,
that. Leave him be an old man. He's got one son that's fucked off to America or Canada with his new wife. He's got another son who's ready to step into his field. His second wife, Camilla, he married the wrong person. He married Diana when he was in love with. Jesus Christ! Yeah. I mean, this has country Ireland family written all over it. Like this is literally every family. Like there's always. They say, "Oh, did you see so and so's?" 2 brothers have fallen out. That's every family.
Yeah,
people fall out. Why is it such a big thing?
Yeah, because I think the thing about it is what I kind of like in the beginning. Do you ever just have epiphanies in your life where you go, why do I even care about this?
I don't care about.
I find myself getting a wee bit too like.
I don't even care about my own life half the time. My life's a fucking mess.
Catherine said to me, she was like, "Well, what do you think about this?" And I was just in the middle of going, "Well, I think," and then I went, I don't give a fuck about this.
Harry and Meghan are fucking class act.
Yeah.
I never watched a documentary, but what this is how I see it. Now you can correct me here, right? Harry meets a woman. She's an actress. She's not of the normal stock that would marry into royalty. She gets married and she doesn't feel very welcome. She's getting hounded. Bad comments about her in the press. His mother was hounded. Bad comments about her in the press. His mother died. He went, I ain't having this again.
Yeah.
He then falls out with his family because he wants better protection, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't fit into the protocol anymore. They're getting angry at him. He decides, right, fuck it, we're off. We're moving abroad. We leave, but obviously that is still my family, even though I may not be part of the family on a daily basis, but they are still my family. So I do want to have some sort of relationship with the royal family. He then goes over. Everyone's telling lies about him. He then goes, right, you know what? We're going to build a life for ourselves abroad. We're going to do a Netflix documentary because we've got to give our side of the story because everyone else is making up a load of lies. Then they get criticised for doing their side of the story. You know what? The people who hate Meghan and Harry are the ones that are keeping them floating and watching the show. I think good luck to them. They seem like, people say, oh, Meghan's really controlling. Who the listen, stop commenting on other people's relationships when you're probably fucking in a relationship you don't even understand yourself, right? Leave them off. They're in love. They're doing their thing. He seems like a nice bloke. He's had a fucking really privileged upbringing. He's had tragedy, trauma, and he doesn't want his wife to be dealing with the British press anymore. So fucking good luck to him. Sorry, was that too long? That was too long.
But my question is, should Charles have them whacked?
That'd be a good documentary on Netflix.
Yeah,
That'd be a
it
good
would.
TV show. Crown season 11.
Yeah, just and you know, can you imagine the shot of just to have like a wee?
It's like when Michael Collins got whacked down south. Like. They won't get well. No, they're going through a shit time at the moment, and they'll need time to heal. And Charles will become king. The country will settle down, and they'll start repairing relationships. And Harry's kids and William's kids, their cousins, they'll want to get on, and they'll see.
Get married,
People don't realise what's going on behind the scenes. Just everyone needs to just leave them, just get on with their life.
But can you imagine the shot though, if you were making in the Crown of season 11 or whatever, and there's the wee detonator button and Charles's wee sausage fingers.
Fingers comes over, yeah.
That
Oh yeah, but like
cinematic.
not at all, man. Like just leave them live their life, and if you're not interested in them, don't comment on them, don't talk about
But
them.
what do you think about, you know, people will go, well, they want the privacy, and then now they're doing documentaries and they're
No, they want the
100 million.
privacy outside. No, they're doing a documentary because they want to give their side of the story, which they're entitled to do. They need to earn money, and they're willing to pay, and they'll take that money. That's fine, and they want privacy. They want to be able to live their life and have some sort of they want privacy in terms of like they only want publicity for their work. They don't want publicity for what's going on in their house. There's a bit of a difference, isn't there?
They should do a podcast.
No, but like if Meghan was in London now, you know what the media in London are like.
Yeah.
In England are like. So she'd be doorstepped every 2 minutes, and but she wants to do a podcast, talk about issues of the world, women's issues, you know, raising kids and all that. That will benefit other people. She wants to be out of the public eye in terms of the abuse and the stalking and all that. So she's entitled to have a profile, but she doesn't want to have a profile in the way that the British media want her to have a profile.
But do you think a wee bit too, it's like if you see a wee fire, you know, when if you put your finger in it, you're going to get burned.
Yeah,
You
but
don't
sure,
think
like they're sitting in Canada and America, wherever they are. I don't even know where they are, but they're laughing. He's member of the royal family, so he'll always have some sort of protection.
Yeah.
He's got guaranteed income. Their box office in terms of a couple. They've got 2 kids. They're obviously madly, deeply in love. He's sick of the. Do you know what? People out there go, oh, the royal family, they're privileged and all this. And he's gone, fuck this, I'm out of here. And then he's getting stick for it. Like, if he doesn't want to be a part of it, the Queen only became Queen because her uncle abdicated, then her dad became the king, and then he died. And that guy that abdicated, Edward, I think, he went to live in France with a woman who was divorced, an American woman, I think, and he still had a title, and they were like, and he still turned up for loads of events. But he didn't have social media back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Leave them off.
It's like, you know, Robert Smith from The Cure.
Oh, the black haired guy.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. He's so antisocial.
But
isn't
he said he took his parents to court because he said he didn't what's the word, consent to being born. So he said, I didn't want to be here. I didn't consent to being born. They had me. So I think they were like, that's a bit mental, Robert.
Did he actually do that?
Yeah. So he's like divorced from his family, and he won't have kids now because they don't. And maybe he's like 80 as well, but they don't consent to being born. So he was like, so do you think Harry should speak to Robert Smith and be like, listen, I didn't consent to being born into this?
What did the judge say?
Yeah, he'd probably go, well,
You've had a lot of drugs, man.
Yeah, but if Robert Smith came in, how he looks in the court, they'd be like, "This guy's a bit of a character, isn't he?"
Yeah.
We'll just.
That's great.
Let that
I
go.
quite find that quite funny.
Yeah, but I enjoy the idea if like lawyers and stuff. You come in and you're like, "Listen, I want you to fight this case," and the lawyer's going, "Yeah, fuck it, they should pay me."
Oh, pay me, yeah.
Let's
Can you
go, let's
imagine?
see.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? Before he was born, Robert was very upset about being
Yeah.
told he was being born.
When were you annoyed? At what point did it start? When he was in his dad's
Conception.
testicles?
Yeah, when I was in my dad's testicle, I was quite happy because they would all be mates.
Yeah.
There was about 5 million of us.
And then he shot me out.
And then he shot me out because he picked me and I didn't ask to be picked. Like, fucking hell, man. Like, just plenty of people out there that have never been born. I'm sure would, if you meet them now, they'd love to have been born.
Yeah. But then
Is that
I
a
think
sentence?
what made me laugh though, I think someone was like, "Well, you could just kill yourself," and he's like, "Nah, I don't want to."
Because of the hassle.
Yeah, it's like, oh well. It's like, nah. Well, I didn't consent to being born, but now I'm here.
Yeah.
I'll just get on with
But
it.
you know what? People are fucking dopes. Like I would find, there's people would get angry about that. Whereas I just find that funny.
Yeah.
And I go, well, if that's what he wants to do, it doesn't affect me, so why
Yeah.
would I get angry about it? Like Harry and Meghan, things like that, doesn't affect me. I don't watch their Netflix thing. I know the basics from hearing stuff or seeing it on news. It doesn't affect me. I'm not up. Why would I want to comment on it, even though I've commented on it now already, and I understand the stupidity of that. But my point is like, just let people do what they want to do.
Well, what the clip is definitely going to be is the clip of just you doing the synopsis of The Crown. There you go. Season 7 of The Crown, just the breakdown, Meghan and Harry.
Yeah, it's fine.
There you
Leave them
go.
off. I think
But
they're fucking.
If you were to give any money from Netflix would you give Andrew some to make a documentary just called?
Well,
Being
he's
Andrew?
he's giving out money to people he's never met, isn't he?
Yes,
And
but he doesn't. He's. I feel like he's loving this all because he's like, oh fuck.
No,
fuck
I'd
that,
say
it's all for me.
I wouldn't be surprised if Harry and Meghan were paid loads of money. Here's a conspiracy theory:
Uh-huh.
if Harry and Meghan were like, right, we'll give you 10 million a year for the rest of your life if you guys tell us to fuck off and go to America for the next 10 years so we can take the heat off Andrew.
Yeah, because
Do you know what I
apparently-
mean?
Apparently, Andrew was the Queen's favorite. Like he was her number one child. Like.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
You think so?
Well, apparently so. It's like it said he was the golden child until all this happened. She's like, "Oh, Andrew, what have you done this time?" And he's like, "Oops."
Well, they were lovely girls.
Yeah, but he this is my and again, as not a conspiracy guy, this is my conspiracy about Andrew. Obviously, he was married to Fergie.
Fergie, yeah.
During the treble winning years, 99.
Like, just the treble winning years. Yeah.
But whenever he's married to Sarah Ferguson, they obviously split up, acrimonious, whatever else. But she still, strangely enough, lives in Windsor Castle. Like, still has.
Oh, she's clinging on
her
to that.
digs.
Could you imagine her taking him to the divorce lawyer? What do you want? 3 castles.
Yeah, but what I think, this is my conspiracy here, she knows all about his dirty laundry. And she said, well,
But isn't that woman in prison in America, Ghislaine Maxwell?
yeah, Gillian
Doesn't
Maxwell, yeah, she's in there.
Doesn't she, like, surely she could talk?
But this is the thing, obviously, the Jeffrey Epstein, for anyone who doesn't know, he was the businessman who had this island where he just had all these celebrities there, apparently engaging in underage
Disgusting.
sex.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Obviously people who went there, you have like allegedly Bill Clinton, you have
Bill Clinton doing
Prince
things outside
Andrew.
of his marriage.
Apparently
What a
so, yeah.
surprise.
And that's where I first met Tim McGarry, and his first sold me drugs was in there as well. So it's like a lot of guys out there. But
Tim McGarry be there every week.
yeah, that's where we first met.
Sorry,
people,
Tim,
like,
it was a
through-
joke, Tim.
Through comedy, it's not. I know it's not Tim, but I think the whole thing with Andrew is like he must be shitting himself because your woman, obviously Epstein died, just killed himself in jail, and just so happened the security camera was switched off.
Can you imagine Prince Harry's? Can you imagine Prince Andrew going on a date now?
Yeah.
Imagine he goes on a date with a woman, say 50, and it's like, oh, hi, I'm Prince Andrew. He's like, oh, so tell me, you been up to much?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was accused of, soliciting underage girls in America, but look, that's in the past. Like, no woman is going to be looking at him going, oh, he's so misunderstood. Like,
Speaking-
she must be a bit like going,
Yeah.
Can I just have 14 million as
Yeah.
well? Like,
But I mean, that's the
can you imagine him going on Tinder, like,
Yeah.
Prince Andrew, like, age range 18 to 21.
Yeah. Is it really you? And he's like,
Well, I have form.
yeah. But I mean, you never know. Imagine he was just great banter as well, and you're like, oh, actually, maybe he could resolve it again.
But you know what? There's a lot of men out there in those age gaps, like 50s and 60s, who, are very, very creepy.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, definitely.
really creepy. And people always say, like, oh, but where are they? I tell you where they are. They're fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
they're in your workplace. It's fucking weird. Like people say, like, oh, the comedy industry's had a few, Me Too's across the world, and which is good and fair enough and well called out. But every office, everywhere, you could be working in an accountant's in Belfast, a call centre, marketing, new tech, Christmas parties. I bet you there's people who had a Christmas party last month who did stuff at that Christmas party that fucking shouldn't have.
Yeah,
and
100%.
they are either with somebody long term or living at home, and they go out to get the drink in them. It happens everywhere. This isn't just one industry. It's a human issue. This happens everywhere. You're spending 7-8 hours a day with men and women who are, you're working closely with them. And you're going home at night, and you're seeing them the following day. You're probably spending more time with them than you are with your partner. And Christmas party comes, couple of drinks. Next thing you know, I saw this thing on BBC. It said 50% of people at the Christmas party kiss. I don't know if that was true, but it's
wild. The Christmas,
wild.
I don't know what it is.
There's
about
people
Christmas
out there
parties.
who are a lot of fucking stress over Christmas, worrying about going back to work on the 2nd and 3rd of January. I'm telling you.
No, for sure.
And you know what? You brought it on your fucking selves. You're a fucking disgrace.
But speaking of disgraces and Me Too's and returning and coming back, I saw an article yesterday. Apparently, Bill Cosby is looking to go back on the stage in 2023, returning to stand up.
Who's going to buy a ticket for that? Oh, I'll ignore the rapes, but I love the pullback and reveals and the punchlines. Like, come on.
Yeah, but the thing is, there will be people, because again, I used to really like Louis C.K. stand up, and I don't anymore. And I think the thing, obviously, with what cancelled him, he never seemed to apologise or address it afterwards. It was like he just carried on, still very much like...
He made a joke, didn't he? He's like, you guys, anything happened last year? I lost 200 million in a year. But anyway, so it's good to be back.
Yeah.
And I'm just like going...
Yeah.
Do you know what that is? That's arrogance.
Yes.
And that's also not being humble enough to go, hold my hands up. I have this weird kinky thing that I'd like, which is disgusting. And I understand... And yes, I may have abused my power in comedy with younger comics and being a bit of a world-renowned superstar, etc., etc., etc. And I didn't mean to make people feel uncomfortable. I apologise.
Yeah.
I have to earn a living, and I want to go back on stage. And I just hope that you can understand, like from the bottom of my heart, that I apologise. And you know what? A lot of people would be like, okay, and it's up to people to decide then what they want to make out of that apology. And I just think he didn't do any of that. And there was no sort of, I'm not saying humanity, but there was no sort of like self-reflection and sort of say, yeah, you know what, I fucked up. And, you know, I fucked up so many times in my life. I'm well able to say sorry. And I think being able to say sorry is a very important trait in a person.
Yeah.
You know, and also if he can't say that, it's a sort of like, oh, I'm just going to not comment on it, and eventually it will just like go away. Well, just say sorry, man, and move on. But it's too late to say sorry now. Yeah,
no, I agree. And I think there's a weird thing too, because I'm sort of in the, obviously if people do commit a crime, they should do the time for it, you know. And I think that sometimes with certain things, like if someone's just being maybe like creepy, you know, punish them, but also don't sort of say, right, that's you gone forever. Because the apology and the sorry seems to be something that doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you do something wrong, apologise for it, try to come back from it, whatever. But people seem to be like, there's no apologies, don't do anything.
Okay, so,
you know.
But you're right. But let me give you this example. Somebody goes out, say, and they they're an actor, and they do something that they're being creepy, and they're an actor. And they get banished from acting, okay, because of that. But they didn't commit a criminal offence. Let's just say for that. That person still needs to earn a living.
Yeah.
That person still needs to pay their gas and their electric bill. So what do? Do you punish them for the rest of their life? No. Say that person then goes into Tesco and stacks shelves. You say, oh, we don't want them in our industry anymore. Yeah, but you're fine for them you have to have them in the industry of Tesco. Like they physically have to go somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like when you come out of prison and someone comes out of prison and they go, oh, I don't want this murderer living in my village. Okay, but their feet has to physically sit somewhere.
Yeah.
So if they don't go to your village, they go to the village up the road. Well, what's stopping the people from up the road saying they don't want them out? Like, you physically have to be somewhere. Your bum has to sit on a chair somewhere. Your feet have to be on the ground somewhere in this world. So they have to go somewhere, and they have to make a living. But the arrogance is, you can't come back into our industry. But then they get a job in Tesco. You just ignore it. They're in Tesco. What about people they're working with in Tesco? There could be creepy with the people that work in Tesco.
Yeah, but that's what I'm sort of saying too. Is if people they do a crime, they go to prison, they get out, people accept they're rehabilitated. It seems like in some industries now, certain people should definitely be. But if some people do things that are maybe, they need to not change the way they are, definitely. But sometimes Nats, you done with this forever, and some people don't know anything else. Do you know what I mean? So I think as long as there has to be some sort of improvement and reflection, and guarantee you're not going to go back to behaving in a awful. Obviously, likes of the Bill Cosby.
That's all different stuff. There's different extreme, and it's all case by case basis. Every situation is different. If you look at the Harvey Weinstein situation, he was found guilty there just before Christmas for another couple of things in California or something. Look, he'll die in prison, right, and rightly so. And the Bill Cosby thing, I don't really know that much about the case, but obviously he did time in prison. There's plenty of people out there that I would say have a lot of stuff in their closet that they are worried about that if they come out. But there's also people out there who, I suppose sometimes, who can be a little bit inappropriate, but sometimes without knowing they're being inappropriate. And it's also a responsibility of everybody else around those people, men and women, to have a word and go, here man, or here girl, listen, just I know you're not meaning this. But it's a responsibility of everyone to speak to people. I said to somebody recently, not recently, actually maybe pre-pandemic, their tone in the green room I thought was a little bit sexualized, and I just said, just wind it in a little bit, and they were like, and they were genuine. They were like, sorry, I'm just gearing up for the gig, and I was trying to be a bit expressive, and I went, it's okay, but just there's people here that may not be comfortable with that type of. Now that's not me going around watching whatever. Trust me, some of the shit I say, but it's about understanding what you're saying and the context of how you're saying and how you're behaving. I've had a woman follow me from gig. I did 3 gigs one night, and a woman followed me from each gig. And I called it out to another person, and they said, "Oh no, that person does that to everybody else." And I went, "Okay, so this is not just me. This is just this person's behaviour." And eventually, word got back to them, and that person then just stopped doing it.
Yeah.
So everyone has a responsibility. If you see inappropriate behaviour, but also don't kill somebody if they make a tiny mistake that doesn't hurt anyone. Do you know what I mean? We all have to have a bit of balance.
Because I had a guy once who was a gig I was running. One of the other acts sort of said, "Nah, that didn't feel entirely comfortable about the way this person was speaking, or the way they were, talking, and the sort of behaviour." And I spoke to them afterwards about it, and was like, "Listen, knock that in the head." And it wasn't in a way where I was like, "You never do that again," sort of thing. I was like, "Listen," so someone who was sort of relatively new, and I was like, "Listen, knock that in the head, whatever." But they just took that the totally wrong way, when it would have been a case of, I would have totally been grand with them, but just thought it was, gunning for them, and then just went totally off the rails. And I was like, all right, well, in that instance, again, you just have to say, rather, because it was awkward, because it was like, you don't want to have the conversations, but sometimes you have to, and I think now that I'm kind of
but also people are manipulators, and you got to understand, like you did a decent thing there by approaching this person and saying, your behaviour, knocking on the head or whatever, and what happens is that sometimes people don't like being called out. Narcissists will always go somewhere where they can't get called out, and from my experience of dealing with these type of people is that they actually hate confrontation, and their best form of defense a lot of the time will be to attack. So you obviously were trying to do something, you were trying to probably help the person as well in a way. I gave a guy a bit of advice recently, a new comic, and I just said, it's like this, I said, look, if you want to start out in comedy, one thing you'll know is that it's very supportive and people will always be glad of new talent. But I have never dated anyone in the comedy industry in my whole life. Never have done, right? Never have done. And it's not something that I look to do, because I know what comedians are like, and the last thing you want to do is have 2 comedians living together. Right? It's a fucking nightmare. So my point is I said, look, enjoy it, be nice to people, be respectful, and I said, just don't be creepy and don't be a dick. And he was laughing, but the way nowadays you kind of say it to people is look, just be nice, be polite, be respectful, and you'll get on great. You kind of have to add in, be nice, be kind, be respectful, be creepy, don't be DMing, get on with people. You have to add in extra stuff now.
Yeah.
You know, to say to them, like, these are the things. And, like, I know some comedians as well, and male and female from my time in the UK, and I know some comedians that preach about stuff, and I'm like, fucking, you shouldn't be preaching. You know what I mean? Like, we all do daft and stupid things, but I think sometimes the people that latch on to certain things, like these, like Bill Burr said it. Do you remember Bill Burr said it in his thing? He said, these extreme male feminists. And Bill Burr said, what are you hiding?
Yeah.
Just chill.
Yeah.
Just treat people the same as I always treat them. You know, don't have to.
But you know what? This has sort of swayed into the way of being a bit heavy, hasn't it?
We might have to redo another podcast. Will we?
No, listen, we'll pick it up. It's 2023.
This isn't comedy.
It's a new year. What time? How long do you have left?
I have another 20 minutes.
We've another 20 minutes, right? So let's turn it up. Who's going to die in 2023?
Right, I've got my list.
Give me the list. What's happening?
I want to be fingers crossed.
Let's pick
Michael Jackson.
Shamon.
Have you got questions? Have you got questions?
We've some questions, and again, it's
I actually forgot we were recording there.
It's a hard time of the year.
This is a podcast that I think some people who are listening will probably go, where the fuck is this going? And first of all, listen, it's good to mix it up. We can't be funny all the time.
No. But you know what?
It's a tough job, this.
Yeah, and sometimes we've been off. It's been Christmas. We've been drinking Baileys, and we're hungover and we're feeling better. And
I didn't drink. I had 2 bottles of beer over the whole Christmas.
Oh, I had obviously. The comedian's Christmas do. Let's talk about that. Actually,
Jesus Christ, I had to leave. I left.
And you know what? I left. It was quite a weird moment. Because do you ever have? If you have, for me, it was one of those ones because I'd kind of like was almost organising that to an extent. So I had to say to people, like, I was, we'll meet here, keep it quite loose, we'll see whatever happens. But the thing I wanted to make sure people knew about the day was there's no pressure. It's social. No pressure. We just want people to come.
No pressure. Then I saw the videos.
I know. But that was the thing. I said, look, I just want guys to come outside of comedy because I feel like in the last year maybe there's been a wee bit of, I don't know, I don't want to say like a tension, but there's been something bubbling amongst there are obviously naturally going to be an air of competitiveness going on.
Oh yeah, in any industry.
But I have noticed in the last maybe year or two, I don't know whether it's anything to do with COVID or it's just, but there's been this wee niggle of like people almost cloaking, not wanting to tell people things, sneaking, doing, being like.
You see, I don't buy into that. Like, I know, I understand. Yeah. See, what you got to understand is people always ask comics, and people will say this to you, Dave, is that everyone thinks that we're all in competition. Yeah, we're not.
No.
We are all uniquely different. So imagine a football team has 11 players on the pitch.
Yeah.
The striker up front needs the other 10 players to help him score goals. There's a defender at the back. We're all in different positions and we're all getting better at different times. We all started at different times. I need other comedians. You need other comedians. We are not in competition. What you do is you have a style, you have a way. People can like everyone. They can only like one. It's subjective. It's music. It's like music. We all don't like the same bands. But there is space and there is room for everybody. Now, some people may feel that other people are getting opportunities that they feel that they are being overlooked for. Why I haven't done Live at the Apollo yet. But anyway, that's another situation. But my point is that everything will work out for you the way it should. And I'm a firm believer in that. And I think comedians enjoy it. Just fucking enjoy it. I've sold out the Black Box in February. You know what? I sold it out before Christmas. It's the best Christmas present I got.
Yeah.
And it's not because, and so what if you sell out Ulster Hall or Shane Todd sells out the arena? Shane Todd sells out the arena, or Paddy or William or Diona or whatever. I'll be the first person to send them a message saying, I'm buzzing for you. Because you know what that does? That introduces people to more live comedy who then will go on your podcast, Shane's podcast. They'll see you on it because you're on it all the time. They'll see me on it. They might want to nip over to look at my stuff. They might go, oh, I like this Andrew Ryan guy. Or someone else go, oh, I actually don't like that Andrew guy. That's totally fine. But the fact that it helps everyone. Yeah. And I think people, especially comedians, like, the only competition you're in is with yourself.
Correct.
So will you just fucking relax?
And WWTD, what would Tom do? He'd look in the mirror and he would say, the only competition you have is
just have. Everyone needs to chill, like.
But that's what that was my point. And
have you noticed that?
Yeah.
I'm a lot calmer.
Well, I don't know.
My podcast viewers will be like, Andrew's a little bit calmer at the moment. Well, why do you think? Do you notice that about me?
I don't know. No,
we don't know. We know each other well, but not we.
But you know what? You're someone who I feel that I have gained a good friend. Like we're off on a good basis. It started off, we did podcasts together. Over time, I'm like, I like Andrew. I like talking to you. I like just and it's good. And like
because I've no axe to grind with anyone.
And that was what my whole issue with this night was. I thought, we'll just invite, and if anyone wants to invite somebody else, work away.
Brilliant.
But take it away from a gig, because in the past we've done like Christmas dues and it's been at a gig, and then people are still wanting to do that. It's like, ignore that. And you know what? It was a lot of fun. Now there came a point where I think I'm at the age now where I know enough's enough for me, and I've drank too much, and it just in my head.
You arrived at 2, and it was about 2:15 was about enough for you, was it?
Yeah, I was like, it should have been, but at the time I got later on in the day, I was just, in my head I was weighing it up. I was looking at where it was going, and it's like, if I drink more, it's not gonna go anywhere better for me here.
Nothing happens. Nothing good happens after 5 pints.
No. So then I walked Tim out. Tim had come to join us for a couple later on, which was great to see him. And I walked him out, and as I was coming back in, I just looked in, and I could see a couple of fellas had the shirts off.
I saw the videos.
The music was playing, and I went, you know what? Now's the time.
Now's the time to go.
I'll just bounce out here. It's not going.
And then one of them ended up in A&E
with 2 broken legs.
2 broken legs.
What the fuck?
I didn't have one drink. I had Coke or something.
That's why you were buzzing home.
I went to 2 pubs. And Shane Todd left early because he had to go pick up his kids. And I left, not because I didn't want to drink or it's because of that. It's because I know myself.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I love a pint, but I love a pint in a very controlled environment, i.e. at 9 o'clock until about 11 or 12. If I start drinking at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm telling you, Dave, I know myself, right? Yeah. I'm telling you, at 9 o'clock, there's either a good chance I'm arguing. I've disappeared. I'm on my own, sitting in a corner, miserable. I can't do it. 4 pints, good crack, and I go, you know what? It's now time to leave on a high. I've learned there's nothing good happens after 4 or 5 pints. Get your 4 or 5 pints in, get your crack in, and go. Now's the time to go.
So let's talk. What a night for you? Like, if you were to have, what would be the perfect evening for you?
Do you know what? I had one recently. I went out in Belfast. I went to Muriel's.
Yes.
Right.
Nice
walked
bar.
into Muriel's at about, say, 7:30, 8 o'clock. Went in early just to get a seat. Because I'm at that age now. Like, is there seating in there? Remember that Mickey Flanagan routine he used to do? Because, you go outside now, I won't get a seat in there, mate. Right?
100%.
Went in, got a pint of Guinness, gutted my stomach, because I can't, long story anyway. I had 3 pints, absolutely happy. I had my dinner at home, stomach was full, I was relaxed, I was calm. Went to another bar, was it the National? Which was
across the road?
Which was a bit sort of airy-lairy.
Yeah.
Which was fine though, I enjoyed it. And then had 2 pints there, and I thought, right, I'm done now. And this is now what, 11:30, and I thought, right, I'm done now. I can go home, take some fucking salts, take some Nurofen, pint of water, Deorolite, get all that in. And then I woke up the following morning and I looked at my credit card.
Yeah.
And I'd gone to the Spaniard. I have no memory of the Spaniard. I had £24 in the Spaniard. I went, did I buy a round of drinks? I was like, there's only 2 of us. I was like, who the fuck? And I said, did I go to the Spaniard last night? And my mate was like, yeah, we went to the Spaniard. So I have no memory of the Spaniard. So I think I had 6 pints. And after 5 pints, I have no memory. So to me, it's like 5 pints to remember, 6 pints to not. Now, if I went on that Christmas do and I had 6 pints, I'm telling you, there'll be 2 people in A&E.
Yeah.
And it would have been a southerner up there using the free healthcare.
Yeah. No, that was.
And I know myself, and I enjoy my 3 or 4 pints, and I'm done.
Yeah. And see, for me, I like like you say, you need to find a corner, a seat, a table in a corner, good access to the drink.
Yeah.
And a good pint of Guinness. That's what I like the
best.
best.
Yeah, there was some pints drank, wasn't there?
Oh, man. We'll see. I need to show you this. This is, people often say, like, what's, if I were to set a screensaver on my phone, it wasn't my children, which I sort of feel like you have to. Why
is the screensaver Camilla?
Well, another story for another day, but this is the pint in my local, and
oh jeez,
it's just
that's not a great glass for Guinness though, because it's a double neck on it.
But it's a perfect glass for Guinness.
Yeah. Do you ever drink Murphy's?
Yeah,
or Beamish?
I've had. There's actually the Courthouse. Tell me this. See, in 2023, do a show in the Courthouse in Bangor.
Well, like a solo or a mixed bill?
Solo, whatever.
Would it sell?
Yes, it would sell. Let me show you.
I'll do it so.
Because
what's the seating capacity?
I'll show you right now, because it's. I did a gig in there, and it's the people who run open house folk in Bangor who run the Open House Festival are the best people I've ever worked with.
Okay.
In terms of
Give me
running
their
gigs.
details.
That's the
Oh, Jesus.
beautiful 150,
Oh,
perfectly made.
that's what you need.
Stunning.
I'm going to,
You know.
I'll speak to you after this
Yeah,
about that.
it's great because I'm maybe thinking of doing something early-ish next year there because I just love it. I'm going to get something in the diary, but it's just a great space.
Oh, lovely. I
And
love to go out
in
to
the
Bangor.
courthouse, they have the Beamish. They have
Oh, Jesus.
Beamish on tap,
Jesus.
and it's lovely. The bar in there is brilliant. What they've done,
Beamish is like,
It's
it's
just-
like girls to Prince Andrew.
young girls, whoa. But it's just, oh man, it's so good. Let me see if I can find you one last photograph of my selfish self. Did he send it to me? No,
Which one? No.
it was of Michael had sent me a photo of me on
The Pines,
the
like.
stage. No, on the stage in the courthouse, and I want to show it to you because it just shows
You
you how
doing your solo show?
yep, how nice a venue it is. It was just beautiful. When did I do my solo show? Was it October? I don't
But you're a
even-
Bangor boy.
I am a Bangor man. Yeah, I
You
absolutely.
did you do any local stuff?
I did a little bit of off the top, a wee bit just
With the car
at
parks
the
or
beginning.
petrol
I
stations
talked
and
about
stuff?
there's a place in Bangor which is it's a I don't know how to describe it. It's like a sweet shop, but it's never open during the day. But anytime I come home from gigs or whatever, it's open like 11
It
o'clock
opens.
at night.
It's like late night sweeters.
Yeah, so I just can't figure out that. I did a wee bit about that. I did a bit about obviously the sea swimmers and the posh folks of Bangor, and it was a nice time, and I just really love gigging in Bangor. I think if I do a big show next year, I'd like it probably to be in Bangor.
Film
I
a
think.
special in Bangor.
Yeah, I think it's one of those ones that
Good crowds. You're not
there
getting
is-
Larry dickheads talking during shows.
There was one
People before we think, if you're going to go to comedy in 2023, do not talk when the show's on, and stop eating crisps and sweets in the shows as well.
Yeah.
Isn't that bally?
Yeah, the women.
Hearing the fucking rappers.
Yeah.
I'm getting angry now again. I'm trying to be calm.
But no, I think it's weird too because I know some people like to like would maybe come out and not maybe I don't want to say not have a prepared show, but some people don't. Some people come out and they like the audience shouting stupid shit at them. I like to have crafted hour. There's
Yeah.
a lot of work in, and I don't like. I'll take the odd heckle, but see if it's shit and it doesn't make any sense and they keep going, it's like, shut up.
Yeah. In my current show that I'm doing, I go out, I do 15 minutes, I do a little bit of crowd work, and I do some gags. Then I bring on Aaron, and then I
Yeah.
go back out and I do an hour. And that 15 minutes at the top is like, right, this is your
Yeah.
chance now to have a bit of crack with me.
Yeah.
And if we're having good crack, we'll keep doing it. But when I come back out in the second
Yeah.
half, that's it.
Uh-huh.
So I've given
Business.
you the chance.
Uh-huh.
You've had your fun. Now you listen to the hour.
Yeah.
Some people still can't fucking listen when you're doing that hour then.
Yeah.
And I have to go, learn.
Yeah.
It ruins every gig I do. I always have to go, but you know what? I have to understand that these are human beings with drink in their hands, and they're also from the north, which are probably my favourite audience members now.
Yeah.
Superb people up
Yeah.
here.
No, it's a good wee scene. now,
What questions have you got?
Questions. Who's going to die? That was one from
Right, I think who's going to die?
Patrick.
Did you see that thing on TikTok where they had the celebrity death prank over Christmas?
Yeah, I didn't like that. Did you?
No.
it's like
Bruce Springsteen dead at 74. I laughed at the first two, and then I just thought, oh my
Yeah.
God, you know what? That's really kind of harsh. Like, sometimes, did you ever watch, what was that one that Harry Hill does? Sending the videos of the.
yes, you've been framed.
Yeah, I watch that sometimes. I go, that's actually not nice.
Yeah.
Like, what's happened there actually isn't funny.
Yeah.
I just turned that over. Mm-hmm. I remember, who's going to die this year? Do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. Well, the old Pope is dying.
Oh fuck! I was about to say that.
The old Pope Benedict,
Cardinal
he's
Benedict.
gone. Are they going to change Eggs
Hey.
Benedict then to Eggs Francis?
Yeah, they could do. I think that'd
You know what I
be
mean?
R.I.P.
So
Cardinal Ratzinger.
Pope Benedict is going to die.
Pele.
Oh, he's
All I'm saying, I called the Queen last year and Prince Philip the year before,
Pele.
so I'm a predictor.
Look,
all right,
look, Pele could have gone before this podcast has gone out because he is very, very ill. And you know what? Obviously a great man, did great things for world sport, and fair play to him, and God be good to him.
And do you think Messi's better than him?
I wouldn't have watched Pele. It's
Who do you
different.
who do you think the best ever is? Keane? Roy Keane is
No,
your hero?
no. It's different. Different players at different times give you different things in your life. So I follow Man United, and people say who's the best player? I said, look, I don't have one overall player. I would say one of the most influential players for me in my whole life of loving soccer is Eric Cantona, because he was the first sort of he got it. He was 5 years at United. He retired too early, but went brilliantly. Drama, arrogance, the Frenchness, Europeanness, and he brought up these young players together with him. But that was at a certain time. And then you move into a different time of your life, and certain people at different times of your life make different impacts. So it's very hard to say who is better, Ronaldo or Messi. Do you know what? You don't even have to ask that question. Just appreciate both of them.
Just enjoy them both.
Look at me being all fucking Switzerland
But who's
in the UN here.
But who's going to die? Tell me more people. Shocker.
The Pope was going to die. I also think we always get a couple of shockers. I feel
Britney Spears.
No. I think Elton John.
Elton John?
He's 77, isn't he? And he's going to stop touring, and I think maybe that the change in that might be unhappy for him. Yeah, I love Elton. I think his songs are brilliant.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard.
I don't know. Who do you think? Remember 2016 when everyone died?
Yeah, it was
like Prince died and fucking Bowie died.
Yeah,
everyone died. Like
I had to pull my car over. I'm a big Prince fan. Don't know if I've ever showed this in the podcast.
Are you a big Prince fan?
Yeah,
he was phenomenal.
I only have this on my
phenomenal musician. Oh my god, look at that.
Yeah, so
that's exactly like my body.
Yeah, that's actually my body with his head.
But you know what? Like as a heterosexual male myself, you've got to appreciate the beauty of that man there, don't you? Look at that.
So there you go. So that was up in my house until Catherine moved in, and she went, "You need to take that down." I was like, "Why is that?" And she's like, "It's just weird." I had another thing. Do you ever watch the film Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
You know
I went to the Ghostbusters fire station in New York in June.
Oh, nice. And Ghostbusters 2, have you seen it?
I've only seen one.
Oh man,
I don't watch a lot of films.
That.
Oh right.
This is he's the main bad guy from Ghostbusters 2.
Where did you get these?
Figo the Carpathian. I was a Christmas present I got many years ago from my sister, actually.
From your sister?
My sister got me that, yeah. Big shout out to my sister.
What's your sister's name?
Fiona.
Fiona. Hi Fiona. Where's mine?
So
where's mine?
Yeah, that's and while they're in the studio, I'm trying to find space to put them somewhere.
I am desperately trying to get some print work for my house, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get some
print work, because you can have that.
print.
Oh
work.
right, okay.
I'm trying to get 3 things that are very important to me, and this is going to sound really boring to a lot of people, but just hear me out. The 1999 Champions League final, Man United Bayern Munich in Barcelona is to this day one of the greatest days of my life. Now I've never had kids, right? So don't fucking at me.
Listen, they're not better,
right?
They're not better.
And Clive Tilsey, the commentator that night for ITV, has a thing where he sells his notes for that night. And they're 50 quid on his website, and he sold 33,000 copies of them.
Oh, wow.
So his match notes of his commentary. So that's one thing I'm getting. That's one of the biggest. The second thing was Tiger Woods winning the 2019 US Masters. Was one of the most amazing things for me to ever seen. Now, people think, why is that? If you just look at his story and to reason why that was really, really important. And the third thing that never made me feel so exhilarating and so excited to be Irish and so proud to be Irish was the Irish performance in New Zealand in last year at the autumn series when we went to New Zealand. We beat New Zealand in the series for the first time ever down there. And just Irish rugby has given me so many amazing moments. So soccer, golf and rugby. Yeah. There's 3 best moments of my life. Nothing to do with family, nothing to do with kids. I'm like, because I get such fulfillment from sport, you know. Yeah.
But how would you, like, I have 2 things on my bucket list that I want to do before I die. One,
me.
Yeah. But then Aaron Butler's told me all about that, and it's sort of taking the shine off it now. Taking the shine off it. But I want to go to a proper Oktoberfest. In Munich. I want to go to.
My cousin goes every year. He says the best thing ever.
Yeah, I need to go to.
Why don't we go?
Let's do it.
Go and vlog it in October next year.
Let's do it. And
let's vlog it next year. Let's get 5 of us to go.
And
we put it out on all of our podcasts, and we do podcasts out there and everything.
Why don't we sell it? Let's try and pitch it to BBC, and they might pay for
it. Let's pitch it so we get Shane, you, the Mudblood, whoever else does podcasts, Diona, Sean, myself.
The Mudblood boys can't be too much.
We get 5 podcasts, 6 or 7 of us, or all the podcasts we can go.
Munich.
We'll all go out to Oktoberfest. We all vlog it, bring the crew, and we all edit it, and we all basically vlog ourselves for 2 or 3 days in Oktoberfest drinking. We'll then do all crossover pods out there.
In Lederhosen.
Yeah, we're like, where's Andrew? He woke up in Strasbourg. He had 6 pints.
But see, if you have those steins, apparently you have 2 of those babies and you're wiped out.
Oh, and see the way they carry them as well. Yeah. It's supposed to be great crack.
Oh, I can't wait.
The Germans, man, love drinking with the Germans.
The other thing is, I want to go to the Masters in Augusta.
Dave,
that's what I want.
Dave, this is an ambition of mine. I apply every year for the ballot, and I can't get it. No. We could start something here. We could start something here. Okay. I recently did some work for the PGA.
Okay.
I know a guy who's the head commentator. Ian Carter for BBC Golf. We could find a way for not 2023, maybe 2024 US Masters. Can somebody please, this is a plea, for £5 a month you could help me and Dave get to the US Masters. Now I will accept practice day, but I would like a Saturday on moving day, God forbid a Sunday. I'll take any day, beggars can't be choosers, but if there's any way that we could maybe do co-commentary for BBC Northern Ireland Sport, let's do it. Dave, Cork in the North, Sly Guy Podcast does the US Masters. We don't bring any women. It's just the two of us.
No, Sly in the North of the US Masters.
Sly in the North of the US Masters. There must be some way somebody can help us to get us tickets to the US Masters. If anybody in the North that watches this podcast knows Rory McIlroy, Graham McDowell, Tom McGibbon, anyone involved in
Darren
top level,
Clark.
Olivia, Darren Clark,
Pints.
anyone, get us to the Masters. Honest to God, it is
Faraday.
Come
on.
You know, Olivia McCaffrey, anyone that can get us there, please.
Because that would be...
I will die a happy man if I can get to Augusta in Georgia.
You know, they're the two things I think in my life that whenever I'm going to Pearly Gates, I want to not have on my regret slate. I want to be able to have been to Oktoberfest and gone, and been to the...
I've been to 3 British Opens.
Yep.
I've been to loads of golf competitions. I've never been to anything in America. I've no interest in... if I had Formula 1 tickets, I would trade that. Do you know what I mean? I've no interest in Formula 1, right?
Same.
I've done loads of Six Nations. I've been to Man United loads of times. I've seen Ireland soccer team play in the Euros. I'm going to the World Cup next year. No tickets. I'm going to go to watch the Rugby World Cup in France and the US Masters. And do you know what? I've no interest in tennis, so if I got tickets for that, I would give them away. But my point is, the US Masters, there must be something we can do.
Can I show you something too that I used to do? We haven't done it as much anymore because of getting old and things. But we had a tradition that it was the Sunday before. In fact,
the Sunday at the Masters is like Christmas Day for me.
It was the Monday after the Masters. We did a thing called the Drinking Masters, which was we've got a group and everything for it. So there's a wee logo that we have.
That's brilliant. Oh,
so we got the Drinking Masters.
Put that up on the thing.
And I'll pop it up here. But we did a thing where we play Tiger Woods golf.
Yeah.
And everybody, so each year throughout the years, we have the coveted green shirt.
Oh, the green shirt.
So the green shirt.
Yeah.
And swap over the years. Whoever wins gets the. So you play Tiger Woods golf, but the rules of the Drinking Masters is you could go around and play. If you play an immaculate round Tiger Woods golf, you don't touch the drink. If you don't hit the greens and regulations, fairways, sip a beer, and then you get into Amen corner. The wind picks up. You end up in the water. Oh, if the ball goes in the water, it goes port side. You have to have a drink of port. If it goes in the sand, you drink some Sandy Man as well. Or no, what's the other one you have?
That's a great game.
Yeah, it's tremendous. But then they stopped making Tiger Woods golf and the other golfs. But I think they're making an EA Sports golf game, and when that returns, and man, that's something
so boring. I know people are bored from it, but honestly, to my heart. Tell me you play a golf.
Listen,
fucking loving it.
That's what we should. There's something we should do. Drinking Masters.
Drinking Masters.
Tremendous.
Let's get to Georgia. Yes. I really want to go.
Let's start a GoFundus. Get us to Georgia.
Get us to Georgia. Get us to Augusta in Georgia.
Even, you know what? I get the wee white suit on and do caddies on the par 3 day.
Oh, mate. Like one of the bucket list things I've ever wanted to achieve to do in my life is to, even if I got a ticket just for one day on a Tuesday, even practice day, just to go.
I think though, if I did something terrible at the Open when it was here, and I'm embarrassed about it actually. We gone out for too many pints, like far too many pints the night before, and I am renowned for if I'm tired I sleep.
Yeah.
And we were sitting beside. I fell asleep on the side of the course.
Oh, geez,
and what's the guy called? He's a Slovakian or Slovenian golfer. Can't remember his name, but he was playing a shot, and he said to the steward that my snoring was putting him off. So the steward had to wake me, and I was never more embarrassed in my life than being woken by a steward as a guy's playing golf in a shot in the British Open, and I'm snoring to distract him. So I
did you go for one day, or what did you do?
Went for 3 days.
Oh mate, yeah, but it's coming back 2025. You know that?
Yeah, I'll be.
We'll be there. I'll be there every day.
A lot of fun.
I'd be like, anyone need any work or anything like that? Can I come and do it?
But no, I think it's just great. And your gig you have as well in the golf club, Candy Boy. One of the gigs
back in March.
Tremendous. One of the best gigs there is.
Really nice to do the podcast
Yes,
with you, Dave.
it was
Lovely
good
crossover
fun.
between Cork and the North. Very different for this type of week. Aaron will be back. I don't know where he is. He's probably knee deep in himself. I don't know what he's
Elbow
doing.
deep.
But yeah, this was an interesting one. Just a kind of it's very serious.
You know
one.
what? It's sometimes fun to just have a chat.
Yeah. So if you're putting on the comments like fucking boring, do one.
Yeah, fuck off.
Sign up to the Patreon, please, for extra episodes on the Cork and the North podcast.
And 2023, you know what it's all about? Telling people in the comments to fuck off.
And
Say
also
go.
getting tickets to the US Masters.
Yeah,
Please let us
listen,
know if you've got any contacts.
Let's start it online. Tag
can
us.
do it. Come on.
PGA, Rory, everybody.
Come on, let's get us to the
GMAC,
US
Graham,
Masters.
come on, let us in.
Let us in.
We'll drink cold beers with you. It'll be the work.
See ya.
I'm the sly guy.